Please leave a message after the beep. Wait, let's just cheers like this.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to After the Beep. Oh,
Welcome back. She forgot to take a drink. Welcome back. I missed you all. I hope you had a good 2 weeks.
Anna, I have to tell you something about my day.
Well, tell me. Tell me.
Okay. I think this is good because today's topic is all about college. And so at Fredonia, we call like our university police. We just say like UP. I don't like every time I talk about that to other people, they're like, "What's UP?"
Really?
And I have to like explain what it is.
I feel like people who like I know go to like UB or stuff like
I've like talked to
just,
many
like,
people
UP.
and they're like, "What's UP?"
But I also have never really spoken to my friends about UB.
Now I'm about to speak about university police to you.
Okay.
I was getting ready, and I accidentally called them.
What? How did you accidentally call UB?
They're in my favorites because I used to live.
Okay, that's
campus.
fair. That's fair. It's fine.
I used to live on campus, so I had them. For some reason, I'm that person that had to call UP like multiple times, and I don't know why I'm always that person. So I just put them in my favorites in my phone. There's been like many instances where I've had to call UP, like 2 of them my first year here.
I guess that's fair. Like, if I think about it, like, if something had happened, if I was living on campus my first year and something happened to me, I think I would
wasn't
immediately
even in my
call
dorm
UP.
building. Like, one of them I was in class for it,
Mhm.
and another one I was walking to Willie's.
But
which
I
is-
also feel like a lot more, like, was going on, like, when you
Yeah, I guess.
started. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was before COVID, right? So, like,
No.
Oh.
After COVID.
well, maybe that's why you had to call UP so much.
Anyway, I accidentally called them while I was getting ready, and I hung up really quick because I didn't know if like they had picked. I didn't see
Right.
if they picked up or not. Like I just hung up, and then they called me back, but I got too nervous, so I didn't answer, and I sent it right to voicemail, and that was a mistake. So I went to Alyssa, and I was like, I don't know what to do, and she's like, well, if they call back, like answer, and then they called back.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was like really nice on the phone, and I was like, I'm so sorry, like I called you by accident. And he was like, oh, like it's so fine, like it happens.
I bet it happens way more than you'd think.
Probably. And he was like, just like next time you call by accident, like make sure you either like call us back because I just had to look up who you were and where you live based off of your phone number to see if I had to like send someone to you. And I was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But he was like really nice on the phone.
It reminds me of that time because, like, you know how if you hit your power button a certain amount of times,
Yes.
you send off, like, the SOS thing? So, like, on my old phone, it was, like, stupid easy to do that. And, like, I have probably sent off the SOS thing.
Did they
Like 4
come to your
times.
house?
No, like 4 times. But you can like cancel it real quick. But the thing is like I don't know if it does it on iPhone, but on Android, when you hit it off, it is like a siren. And take that
Oh my
time,
God.
that siren times like think of like a siren like going by your house. Take that times 20,000, but it's in your pocket. Okay. Like I remember we were going to my grandparents' house, and for whatever reason like something in my pockets or like something in my bag was hitting my power button, and in my bag I just hear like
Because like, iPhones, it's just silent and it counts down and then it just calls. So like if you
Not
did it
on
by
Android.
accident, like you wouldn't have
Nope.
known.
On Android it makes
That's
a
pretty bad.
sound. It's terrifying.
It's scary. But that was my morning or afternoon.
It was
Like,
that's
what really
crazy.
bad.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't mind.
No, he was really like friendly and nice.
No, that's good.
So this episode, we really wanted to talk about college life and being in college. Like we obviously are both college students, and we actually talked a lot about it last episode more than we were like supposed to, but it kind of
Mhm.
just happened naturally. But this episode, we really wanted to like get in depth in like going to college and choosing colleges and figuring out how to be in college once you
and-
get there.
Because, like, everybody's like, this is what you do. Like, this is how you get to college. This is how you pick a college. Okay, now you're there.
What
Now
do you do
what?
once you
Like,
get
now
there?
what? Because, like, you're just walk on campus and you're like,
With all that being said, we decided this week to ask our lovely Instagram followers a couple of
Or-
questions on our stories that have to do with college. And it was really exciting. Like, I was reading through a few of them, and it's, like,
Yeah.
so interesting to see.
Other people's perspectives.
The first question that we asked is something that you wish that you knew before going to college. And I was, like, sitting, like, in my room today thinking about, like, what I wish I knew before
Yeah.
going to college. And one of, like, my biggest thing is, like, it's not so much that I, like, didn't expect that I needed my parents less, but I needed them more than I thought that I did. Like, literally this morning, I called my mom and my dad. I asked them both the same question. I asked them literally if I needed if I could use Tylenol as a decongestant. The answer was no. But, like, I will call both of my parents, like, multiple times throughout the
Right.
day. Just, I don't know, for companionship,
Yeah.
for questions, like,
Yeah.
silly things that, like, I didn't think that I, like, would need to know. I did.
Yeah.
And they know.
Right.
I do
That's
it all
fair.
the time.
I have like such conflicted things about this because I feel like I don't. This sounds bad, but like I don't really like call my mom or dad a lot. Like I call my dad, just because like he's not at home. He's like farther, but I like go home once a week for work, so I see my mom. But like that being said, like I text them all the time. I'm just not like a big on the phone person.
I am. Literally.
And I think that's just like the way. I like if somebody calls me, text me. Just
See,
text
I
me.
am like, I've done this new thing where I like cannot have like alone time. So like literally I will get out of class and immediately like call my mom or my dad to drive 2 minutes home to my apartment. Once I get to my apartment, I'm like, okay, I'm here, bye. Every day after all of my classes.
fair.
And I don't know like why I do that. Like I just like
I
I need
think
someone
that's
to chit
fine.
chat to.
No, I am the same way, but I think y'all, my method of that is like Snapchat videos. Like, you know, like those TikToks where it's like your love language is sending like 30 snap. That's me. Like I'm sending my friends like 30 Snapchat messages, like videos a day. Like that, like they're my vlog. So I guess it's like that for me, but I also like I'm constantly texting my mom, I feel like.
Like
I feel
one
like
thing
she's
happens,
sick of me.
one thing happens in my life and I have to like report back to my parents. Like I have like they are my friends.
See that, yeah.
Like I just have to like tell them that like someone looked at me weird.
I
in class.
said to Bethany this morning. I texted her. I promised myself I would like keep my mouth shut. But I also am the type of person to have a podcast. And then I sent her like what I was gonna tell her because I like that's like I'm always like no, like I need to keep this to myself. Like I always feel like I overshare. But then I'm running and telling my parents or like my friends. Like it's ridiculous. Like I have to like scream it to the world.
Sometimes I'll like sit by myself and be like, I really need to start like keeping things to myself. Like I need to like not tell everyone everything, and then I don't. I literally cannot. I have to share every detail.
No, like I'm a yapper at heart. Like I just need to yap, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like I wasn't always like this as a kid, but I also like can't really remember.
My mom is like sick of me. I remember like being a kid and like just asking so many questions, and I remember her being like, "Can you please just like stop?" Like for 5 minutes.
I used to tell like my mom will tell me this all the time, but she's like, "You used to tell me you loved me like 30,000 times a day."
Oh my god, that was me.
Yeah.
One time, so I grew up Catholic. I don't really practice like being religious anymore, but one year for Lent, in like my church, you could either give something up for Lent or it's something that you had to do for Lent. And for Lent, one year, mine was I had to tell my parents that I loved them every single day. And I did, and I like loved it. But then I would like go too far and like do it multiple times a day because I was like, God has to love me.
I think I was just like very like I need like reassurance or something. I don't even know. Like I've just always been like yapping.
Yeah.
Constantly yapping.
There's like too much room. I mean, there's not enough room.
There's not enough room in my head, and like
I need to like
sometimes
clear up my storage.
Yes, like my brain works 10,000 times faster than my mouth does. So I'm like constantly tripping over myself because I'm like trying to get all the words out, but they don't.
That's why when we
that way.
converse, sometimes Anna and I will like have conversations and there's not a single complete sentence. Like, I will start a sentence and Anna will know where it's going, and I don't have to say anything anymore.
I think the funniest thing is when, like, other people will be in the room and we're, like, talking to each other, but we're not saying anything. Like, it's complete gibberish, but we understand each other. And, like, Sam or somebody will walk in the room and be like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you doing?
I'm surprised that doesn't come across in our mic ups as much.
It does a little. I just think I take some of it out, because especially with, like, the picking up items one, there's just so much of it that it's just us.
By the way, guys, we started doing a mic'd up series on our social media. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. They're really funny.
They're really funny. We just the first one we did was our hockey broadcast that we did, and that one was super, super fun.
It was really
so
funny.
Go check that out if you haven't.
All right, should we look at some of these responses? Okay, so what's something that you wish you knew before college? In our, like, story post, we didn't ask anyone if they wanted to remain anonymous or not. So I think that we should just keep everyone anonymous.
We'll keep it anonymous.
And if we talk about you, then you know.
You know who you are.
Okay, the first one is the college you choose does actually matter. Yeah.
Yes.
I also think
I would love to hear their opinions on this.
Yeah.
Just because I was always very much in the mindset of, like, I just need to go somewhere. Like, I just need to pick a school.
See, I went out west, so I toured colleges in Colorado and Utah. And, like, the schools that we saw there they were like polar opposite schools. And I remember my aunt, her asking, like, oh, like, do you want a big school? Do you want a small school? Like, what do you want? And I was like, I have no idea what I want. Like, I have no idea. And I really had this huge sense of, like, I'm scared that I'm not going to get the perfect college experience. And, like, I was afraid to not go to a school with a big sports team because, like, I'm going to miss out on games. And, like, I'm going to, like, but, like, I don't go to the games.
The only reason we do is when we have to.
Yeah. So I think it does, but I agree with this person. It does matter what college you go to, but I also think once you've made that decision, it's really up to you for, like, what you make it and, like, what you put into it. Because, like,
agreed.
People talk, like, Fredonia isn't seen in the best light, especially right now. If you know, you know. But I don't regret coming here because of what I've discovered here.
Yeah.
You know,
I think especially with Fredonia, I will say this place is what you make of it. Like, you, and I don't love it when professors do this, but if they say, like, oh, you have to go out of your way, like, to do the reading or whatever. But that's kind of how this school is. Like, if you want it bad enough, you'll find it.
That's also how the real world works,
exactly.
too.
Like, if you want it bad enough, you'll figure out how to do it. You'll find it. You'll, like, I think with this place especially, it's, like, not, we're not really pushy on big, like, events or, like, things like that, where
it's because we don't have, like, I feel like it's because we don't have, like, a huge sports scene.
Yeah.
You know, like, if we had, like, a football team.
I'm so glad we don't, by the way. Just putting that out there. I don't think.
But that's something that I thought that I wanted.
Right.
So badly. And it's like, I don't. And also, like, I thought that, well, one thing to preface that I think really matters in this conversation is that I'm a senior and Anna's a sophomore.
Yeah.
And I've also went to community college before coming to Fredonia. So, like, we have, like, very different experiences. But I have never been, like, a person who, like, wants to, like, go out and party and be crazy. But that's something that I thought that I wanted.
Right.
So, like, I remember, like, going to, like, looking at schools and then searching online, like, is this a big party school? Because, like, I thought that I wanted to go to a big party school. I literally had not been out this whole semester, like, once.
I think it's also important to add into this conversation that both of my parents and my aunt went here. So I don't want to say I grew up in Fredonia because I didn't, but I grew up, like, very much knowing this campus and knowing this place and, like, knowing the town.
And I am also, I forget this fact about me, but I'm technically a first-generation college student. Oh. Because my parents did not go to college and my grandparents did not go to college.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
About you. Yeah.
Sorry, that, like, cut you off.
No, it's okay.
But I think it's important to remember this facts.
And the college, like, it does actually matter what college, obviously, but I think, I don't know. When I was so adamant about not going to this place, and now I, like, thank every day that I am here,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. Like, I just...
Even I feel like a good example of this is like the station, because like our TV station does not have the best funding. We don't have all the crazy fancy equipment. Like half of our stuff is broken and it's really
and we're
sad.
fixing
like,
it constantly.
If that didn't happen, we wouldn't have had to figure out how to make it work.
Yes. Like, I know people, you know, hate on so much of the stuff that we have to fix all the time, but I've said it time and time again. I'm so glad that, like, I've learned how to troubleshoot. Like, there's so much of this place where, like, I would never get that from a class.
And now
you
you're
would
going
never learn it from a class either.
Yep. And now you're going out, like, in the professional field, and, like, you know how to deal with problems and not just, like, stop and give up or, like, ask someone else. Like, you know how to, like, work through problems, and I think that's huge.
Yeah.
All right. The next thing, which I think this is really huge.
Are you going across or down? Sorry to cut you off.
I'm going across.
Okay,
but I'm on my... I'm
No,
on the show.
We're on the show. No.
People like you for being you. You don't have to pretend to be someone else. And I think this is really huge because in high school, I feel like you have to be friends with the people around you because there's no one else. In college, there's so many people around you that, like, you don't have to be friends with someone if that friendship is not serving you. And I think that took me a really long time to learn. Like, if your friendship isn't serving you, you don't have to stay there. There's so many people at this school. There's so many people in the world that you haven't met that, like, can, like, honor you as a person and, like just make you happy. So, like, if you're not yourself and you're not, like, being true to yourself and also not being true to others, you're not going to be true the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree heavily. I think something that, like, surprised me coming here is how quick people are, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but how quick people are to go through friendships. I didn't realize that most people haven't been friends with the people that they're friends with for a decade, or like, you know what I mean? Like, my home friends, I've been friends with most of them for at least 5 years. So to me, like, coming here where, like, somebody will be like, oh, we just met this semester or something, but she's like a sis. I'm like, whoa, like, obviously you can have that, like, really quick connection because, like, we did.
I think it's also, like, a lot of relationships are based on proximity.
Yeah.
So, like, when you're seeing someone every day, like, like, if you come in and you don't know your roommate and then you're living with that person, like, you're either gonna love them or you're gonna hate them.
So to me, like, that was just surprising. Even, like, and I've noticed it more my sophomore year because I'm living closer to campus. I just didn't realize how quickly, I guess, people go through people, I guess.
I also think in college, people are very quick to not like someone based off of one thing.
Yes.
Or not, like, internally reflect on themselves before, like, deciding that they hate someone.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big deal.
I don't know if this is a Fredonia thing or if it's just, like, a...
Maybe people our age?
Yeah, if it's, like, a college thing or, like, a people our age thing. But I just didn't realize, like, how... This sounds crazy, but, like, how mean people can be or how judgy people can be right off the bat.
Especially, too, like, if you've never really interacted or, like, if you've, like, done something to someone they're friends with and then they're just done with you. It's like, you're only seeing something from one perspective, and that's crazy to me.
It's just, like, I guess it's also, like, a maturity thing. I feel like in college, people are sort of all over the place maturity-wise, not just because, you know, like, freshmen and seniors, like, whatever. It's, like, I think there's, like, seniors I know who are, like, less mature than I am. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I feel like we're all at, like, different stages, and because of that, like, that's where those relationships
and also
are
like when
sorry, Chris.
When going to college, like, people are coming from so many different backgrounds and upbringings that, like, it's, you really have to learn, like, this isn't, like, not everyone is gonna see the things the way that you see things.
Yeah, that has taken me forever to learn. I'm still learning it. Yeah, I think.
But at the end of the day, like, be yourself.
Yeah.
Because no matter if you're yourself or not yourself, people are going to like you and people are not going to like you. So why not just be yourself and have people like you for who you are than anything else. This one I really like. It's talk to your roommate about boundaries and always communicate with them. I think this is great. I also think that there are going to be people in this world who just don't care what you have to say.
Yeah.
And that really sucks. Like, that really sucks. But then you have to learn how to navigate that. Because first, like, setting boundaries is very vulnerable and very hard. And for me, like, it took a lot for me to know what my boundaries were. Because I feel like everyone is like, set boundaries, but like,
how do you know what they are?
How do you know what they are right away?
I don't know what they are.
Especially if you're going into a situation that you've never been in before.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to know? So I think it's really important to, like, sit with yourself and, like, figure out what that is. But sometimes people don't care. And sometimes they don't realize that they're still doing it, even if you said something.
Yep.
I think as long as you're, like, continuously, like, having open communication with the person that you're living with, that really helps.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you might just have to
It's just is what it is. You know? Like, sometimes it is.
Yeah.
I'm centering
I think that's just life.
Yeah. I think so, too. Do you want me to read one?
Yeah.
Okay. Taking care of yourself mentally and physically promotes better learning habits.
Yes.
I think, I can't get comfortable. I'm so sorry. Yes, and I think this is something I still struggle with, like, every single day.
Oh,
especially now that I'm, like, living in my own apartment and, like, stuff like that. I think I'm just, like, you need, like, double the amount of sleep that you ever think you do. Like, when you're living
and
at
time.
home, and, like, time
everything
moves differently.
Everything takes
5,000 years. Like, and I didn't realize this, but I noticed it especially when I was commuting, because obviously cars, timing, right? So, like, time just moves differently in college in a way that I can't really explain until you get here.
It's slow on the things that you... Wait, I need to figure out how to
word that.
This.
Okay.
Like, the things that you want to, like, take up time go so fast.
Yes.
And the things that you want to not be fast are slow. Like, due dates.
Yeah.
Due dates hit so hard in college, especially when you're having classes every other day, but then you're having classes in between that. So, like, if you have a class on Monday and your professor's like, hey, you have this, like, essay due Wednesday. Then you have classes all day Tuesday. When do you have time to do that essay on Tuesday? So things like that really, I struggle with a lot, like, really understanding.
Like, taking care of yourself, especially, like, mentally, is, like, I joke about it, but, like, making my schedule for another semester is like drafting a whole team for me. Like, it takes weeks of planning for me. Like, it takes extreme consideration into what classes I'm taking and, like, the timing of things. That used to be because I was commuting, but now it's because of, like, well, everything, like, here and, like, just general, like, I've learned that I like to have slow mornings, and I like, not even, like, I sleep in, but I just like to take time with my morning routine, and I I prefer a 10 or 11 class.
I do too, but I can't wake up. Like, I will literally sleep until I have to get up, and that's something that, like, I'm trying to work on right now, because I would love to have, like, a nice slow morning that, like, I relax and I take my time. But then I'm up every night till, like, 2 a.m. doing assignments, or I'm up for no reason just scrolling on my phone. Like, I just, like, really struggle with, like, executive functioning and, like, how to, like, balance my time. Like, I am the type of person that, like, if I have free time, that's, like, me time when it needs to be school time.
Right. I think that is one of the things I will pride myself on.
You're so good at that.
Because I, like our ice skating class just ended, for example. And that class was from 9:30 to 11, basically, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And to me, now, like, that time is, like, my work time.
See, I have class at 12:30.
Me too.
I will probably get up at 12, which is
There's the difference.
so bad.
Right. But I think like knowing those things about yourself is so important, whether or not those are habits you want to change or modify. Like once you figure out like what you want from a morning routine, what you want from like a day, like what is a productive day to you, or like what you want that to look like, is so it's so much easier. And it's not an easy process to figure out. Like right now I have a 9 a.m. And when I scheduled that last semester, I was like, it's 9 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. What's the big deal? Like I used to have 9 a.m.s all the time.
Whereas I have a 9 a.m. and I was freaking out about it, being like, there's no way I'm going to this 9 a.m. Like I like loathe this.
Right. And that's the thing is like now I go to this 9 a.m. but I'm like so sluggish and like I hate it, but I'm like I go to bed before like the rest of campus. Like I don't like I don't understand. I do. Like I have a grandma schedule. I don't understand how I'm so tired, and I think my brain just like needs more time to wake up in the morning. Like for school, I used to get up at like 5:30. I didn't leave my house until like 7:20. Right? Like I didn't need all that time, but like my brain needs like 2 hours in the morning to like actually function.
For me, like once I'm up, like it takes me a while to like wake up, but once I'm awoken, I am ready to go.
I admire that about you so much. Like
I will get up and I'll be groggy. I'll like go brush my teeth and then I'm ready for the day. Like I just like I'm like bam.
Like no, I am like this is another thing. I don't understand how people can just like get up and get dressed in the morning. To me, like I have to like I'm such a creature of habit. Like I have to have a shower in the morning in order to wake up.
I would love to shower in the morning.
I can't
a
shower
with,
at night.
Like sunlight. I have to shower at night. I cannot get into my bed.
Otherwise, I'm wide awake. Like I'm rearing to go at like 10 p.m. and I'm like, where do you think you're going? Like what do we? You know what I mean? So like taking care of yourself in that sense and knowing what you want out of a day is so important.
Yeah.
And it takes forever to figure out. And sometimes you have to redo it every semester, but like that's normal.
You guys will find out right now that I am a huge advocate for therapy. Huge advocate for counseling. Like, I've been in it since I was 8 years old. I love therapy and like that works for me. Like I completely understand that that is not for every person. But that is like my go-to thing to like tell people. But one thing for Fredonia at least, and I'm sure for like most colleges, counseling is free. And obviously like that's a really big step to do if you had never done counseling before. So like from my experience it was easy, but like if you can and if you want to and if you're open to like going to counseling, like I have talked to my therapist about like how do I do better in school? How do I balance? Like they're there for everything that you need. Like how do I balance my schedule? How do I balance my homework? How do I balance my personal life? And like they will help you through that. And like that's what I'm going into like my next session like talking about, because I am struggling big time with like assignments and like, personal life and just like everything. And like it's okay to need help, because a lot of people you are not taught how to do that.
No.
And then you're thrown into this experience into college not knowing how to do this, and then that's where you get burnt out and that's where you fail classes or you're not taking care of yourself, and it's so hard to learn that for the first time. The first time.
And I think like I will say like I grew up a teacher's kid, so I did have like the advantage of like that sort of structure and schedule. Not that, you know, like a K through 12 school day is like college at all, but I think especially when we were like hybrid during COVID, like I got really good at disciplining myself, which is so hard. Like I still sometimes like I'm like beating myself up about it.
I never had structure my whole childhood, my whole life. I never had structure. My parents really didn't value school as much as they should have, so I never learned how to do that. So, and I've never learned how to discipline myself. So like I'm facing those repercussions. Not that it's like anyone's fault. It's very normal to not like have any of those things, but like I'm struggling with those things right now.
And I will say this is like, to me at least, like meeting someone like that or like being around someone like that is very, very jarring.
Yeah.
Like you really have to like learn how to be around people who do not think like you, do not grow up in the same capacity, or like do not value the same things you do, which sounds easy, but like to me, like that was like
It's
a really
hard.
like culture shock for me. And it still is sometimes. I'm like, what do you mean you're going to do that? Like to me, like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's like so like out of my box, I guess.
I think in college you just realize like how different every single person is.
Yeah, like you're just so, especially in like my little town, like my little school, like it was very like, I don't know, it was just the same people, same type of people all the time. So like coming here, it was like, it's just way different. Like you're just meeting like so many more people, and
Even
so
like
much...
from community college to a 4-year school, it's like in community college no one's there to be there.
Right.
Like no one's there to make friends, no one's really there to like school spirit. Like you're there to either get your associates or to get your foundation classes. And the goal is to get out of there as fast as you can. And so from that to community college, where it's like you have to like grow roots in your 4-year school, like it's very different. And like I craved that all throughout community college, like so much.
I think I would too in an environment like that. I thought about going to community college first, and I'm glad I didn't. Because I am somebody who likes to like plant my feet in and like
see, although it was rough mentally and it definitely wasn't my happiest years, I am so glad that I did go to community college, because I think I would just feel very lost having to like be permanently somewhere doing like foundation classes.
I see what you mean.
Like especially like I know like every like class path is different. So like I think I'm just comparing it to community college, where you just take like foundation after foundation after foundation. I guess you don't do that in a 4-year school.
Not really. No, some people do. Like, if you're undecided, that's what a lot of people do.
Because technically I was when I was in community college. Like, I was taking psychology classes and, like, social work or working classes, but, like, I wasn't fulfilled in those.
Right.
And I feel like if I were to do that here, I'd be like, what am I doing? I would have freaked out.
Right.
Because even when I started doing photography classes here, I was freaking out. Like, this is not what I wanted. Like, what am I going to do?
Right.
And, like, I was like, this is where I'm staying. I need to figure out what I want to do, or I need to leave and decide that soon.
Yeah. There was times in my fall freshman year when I, like, wanted out of here, because I thought there was going, I thought I was like, this isn't what I want. I want something better. I want something bigger. Not even bigger
for
school
me. It
wise.
was, I wanted something
I wanted something better
size wise,
of,
but like bigger as in like I don't know how to explain it, but we're saying the same thing.
Yeah. Like, I wanted something better in terms of, like, I hate, like, for whatever reason, I hated saying the fact that I went to Fredonia. Like, I couldn't stand it. I just, like, I hated it.
See, once when I transferred, because all of my, like, cousins and all of my friends, like, they were all very good at school, which was very hard for me. And they all went to 4-year schools and, like, were doing these, like, crazy, like, career paths. And I, like, once I transferred to a 4-year school, I was like, I'm just like you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so excited to, like, be like
here.
you guys.
Yeah.
You know?
I think a lot of it just comes from where, like, my town is located. There are just lots of colleges sort of just a stone's throw away. I mean, like, it's 40 minutes, but still, like, it's close. So... like, when somebody was like, oh, I'm going to Fredonia, oh, I'm going to Buff State, whatever, like, it was just like, oh.
Yeah.
So, like, everybody, like, you're gonna, like, it's a reunion, basically.
I don't think I've ever told you this. So, something that I'll probably reference a lot on the podcast is I used to work for a baseball stadium. I was an intern there, and it completely changed my life in good ways and bad ways. And there was a time, so I was in community college while I worked there, and I was not into sports. I was not into sports marketing or anything like that, but like this opportunity came through like a family friends, and I was like, I need something to do like over the summer, like I'll just do this.
Well, yeah.
And there was multiple times where like there was comments made that like, oh, you're smart for someone who goes to community college, like, and I would give presentations in front of the, like, I was like, I worked my way up into a position where like I was the leader of the other interns.
Okay.
And I was like 18, 19 at the time, like working with like 26-year-olds. And I was like, I was in charge of them.
Right.
Like I did that. And there was a lot of times where, because of I was in a higher position and still in community college, I was like looked at differently.
Right.
And I was like told like, you're smart for being in community college. Like, can you believe she goes to community college and she's standing
That's
here and
crazy.
saying all this and she's in charge? Like,
Right.
I think I grew up in a place where like shame and judgment towards community college was always like in my back pocket.
Yeah.
And so like I really had a hard time telling people that I was in community college.
Right.
Like you had a hard time telling me you
Went
for
for my,
it.
which is like so stupid. Like,
If it was easy, everyone would do it.
mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that goes with every aspect
Right.
of life.
Yes.
Okay, so the second question we asked is, do you have any college regrets? Why or why not?
I do.
Really?
Yeah. Well, like right off the bat, thinking, I guess, like, yeah.
What
What are they? Okay, so this is like one I fight with myself a lot
Mhm.
because I know me
Mhm.
and I would not have done well in a dorm environment by any means. And if you know me in real life, I would not do well in
No,
a
you
dorm.
would not.
Okay, I don't play well with
Mhm.
others. All right. But I also long for the friendships that people make in their first dorms, in their first suites. Whether or not those are good, bad, lasting, there is something to be said for like living with a group of people for your first year and you're all going through it the first time.
Yeah.
And because of that, I always have felt very disconnected from my like actual year,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
That does. I think,
So it's not a regret because I would have hated it.
yeah.
But it's also like something I regret in
think
the
about it.
fact of like I didn't really involve myself, like I involved myself here, but not in like my actual like classes, if that makes sense. Like I don't have
Yes.
friends from classes that I see and talk to on a regular basis.
Okay, so because I went to community college, like obviously I didn't. But then when I
Right.
transferred here, I was like, I like living off campus. I didn't really consider it. I was like, it's my first year here. I know no one. I don't know the town. I don't know where
Mhm.
anywhere. So I'm gonna live in a dorm. I lived in a single, and I thought that it was gonna be a very different experience than what it was. Like I wasn't friends with the girls who like lived next door or down the hall. Like I just
Mhm.
wasn't. It was already kind of like they were together, and then the girls
Mhm.
who like were in my quad technically,
Yeah.
they were just like doing their own thing. Like they didn't
Right.
really have the time of day or wanted to be my friend.
Well, that's what I like. I think the same thing would have happened to me if I had been in a dorm.
Yeah. But then
And
I think this is my segue into talking about me being in a sorority.
oh, okay,
Because
perfect.
so I was a transfer student and they had like a little transfer mingle.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I will fit in with these people. They're going through the same thing I'm going through. So I went to one. And this was like the second day being on campus. And I met these two girls and they were so sweet. And I never really, like, I knew Fredonia had sororities, but I
Mhm.
wasn't really like, I need to join a sorority. But I didn't really know what else to do. And so
Right.
I mentioned something to them and they're like, oh, we'll go with you to like the
Yeah.
first, like a couple of events and
Mhm.
stuff like that. Because rushing a sorority is insane. Like,
I don't even know what goes into it. Like I've so
we would
just
be
like
here for so long. Maybe if people want me to like
going
explain
deep depth
going
with it.
into like sorority and stuff, maybe like leave some comments because that's
Mhm.
something that we can do in a later
Later
episode. But I went through the whole process of going through a sorority and I got into one. And once I got there, I just realized like I had just had this like weird moment where I was like, I do not feel like myself. Like I like these people, and it was like nothing like against them or who
Mhm.
they were, but like I just didn't feel like I was with the people who were like me.
Yes.
And so I like had constant anxiety, like
Mhm.
constant panic attacks, like it like really rubbed in like the FOMO bug into me like
Yeah.
super hard, and I was like, I literally cannot do this. Like I
Yeah.
will not survive. And also sororities, like they expect so much from you. So much from you, and I was like, this is crazy. I can't commit myself to this.
Right.
Like it's also like putting all of your eggs into one basket, and I knew
Right.
that I didn't just want to be in one basket, and
Right.
it kind of really limited the things that I could do.
Mhm.
So I do not regret that at all because that's how I met my closest friends.
Yeah.
And so, like, the butterfly effect was full in motion because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have met the people that I know now, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't have never joined the station.
Right.
Literally would not have joined the station if I didn't know the
No.
people who were in my sorority and
Right.
stuff like that. So I don't regret it at all, but I really had this like scary sense of like I cannot and will not be alone.
Right.
And when I dropped my sorority, I remember texting the girls who like I rushed with, who I became really close with, and I was like, I'm scared to be alone. And they're like, we're not gonna like leave you just because you're not in a sorority. And they didn't, and I just had to like put my trust into them. But like being alone in college is really scary, and like putting yourself out there is hard.
Yeah.
But also you can't be afraid to be alone because no matter what, there's gonna be a
No.
moment where you're alone.
I feel like nobody talks about how lonely college is in like a weird way. Not saying hello to my now friends sooner, getting out of my comfort zone sooner. I agree with this.
I think that goes hand in hand with the one that said I wish I didn't let my anxiety get the best of me.
It's like very hand in hand. Like my entire freshman year, I would see people outside of the station who were at the station and just not say hi to them. Like what was I scared? Like I don't get it. It's just like so weird to me. Like I don't know.
But like it definitely took me like a semester
Right.
to like push myself. When I got here, I told myself I was like, I can't do this anxiety wise. Like I will not let my anxiety stop me. Like I forced myself to go to that transfer event. I forced myself to go to those sorority events because I was like, it's either do or die, pretty much.
I know, yeah. With like events and stuff like that, I feel the same way. Like you have to do it, you know?
I think too with regret, like my dad has told me this since I was like really little. Like he's like, I regret nothing in my life. I think regret is one of the strongest words in the English language. And I was like, I like internalize that. So like I have a really hard time like sitting and thinking about regrets because you can't change anything.
Right.
And you can only be like grateful that things have changed.
That's a great way to put it.
Thank you. Our next question that we ask everyone is, what is the biggest life lesson that you learned in college? There are so many for me that I can't pinpoint one, so I'm gonna let the answers do that for me.
I'm like reading through some of these and they're just so funny.
I really like this one. It's okay to ask for help academically, emotionally, etc. You need to lean on people. And I think that's really huge.
Yeah.
Especially academically, because there has been multiple times where I have like been too scared to like admit to my professors that I was struggling. And when I've gotten the courage to, they have been like the kindest people and so understanding and really like gone out of their way to help me. And I didn't think that was a thing. Like I feel like going into college, people like especially high school teachers are always like, you think this is easy, wait to like you think this is hard, wait till you get to college. Like professors don't like put up with anything. Like
yes,
college professors are so cool and they're so human.
They're very human and they're very I don't know how else to put, but like they get it.
Yes.
It's like the best way I can like put it in the broadest of terms. Like I think obviously it depends on the professor, it depends on the class, blah 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 blah. But like they've been there and they know what it's like and they deal with this all the time.
Like I may or may not have done very poorly in one of my classes and I was going to have to retake it. And I had emailed my advisor and been like, well, at Fredonia, the advisors are professors in your degree. So I emailed my professor / advisor and I was like, I'm going to have to retake this class. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to graduate. And he's like, well, why don't you just email the other professor and say that you didn't do well and that you need her class to graduate, because usually she's just like, okay, do this and I'll change your grade. And so I emailed her and I was like, I did really poorly and I need your class to graduate and I didn't get a high enough like grade for it to count. And she's like, okay, like I just looked at your grade and you didn't do super well in this one project. Like redo it and your grade will go up phenomenally, and just like email it to me. And I was like, what? Like what?
It's like crazy like when you just like communicate with your professors. Like for example, like literally today and yesterday,
Mhm.
my professor, I have the same professor for 2 of my classes, and a lot of the students he has, and it ends up that way, because he teaches a lot of classes, but the way he does it is like all of his tests are like essays, so you like won't have class that day, but you'll have like an essay due,
Mhm.
but because this class is the same day, same
Mhm.
whatever, it ends up being like 4 essays in like one day. But he was like, those of you who have me twice, 3 times a day, like take the weekend. And I was like, take the weekend.
Yeah.
Take the week. I was like, what do you mean take the weekend? Like I was so like baffled by the fact like, or professors will be like, they don't really, not to say they don't care because they do. They don't really care about like the grade. They care about like what you're learning from the grade. Sorry, there's a
The next one. Don't expect others to applaud you for your success. If you feel proud of yourself, own it.
yeah.
I struggle with self-validation, and I will forever seek validation from my peers,
Me too.
from every person in my life. I truly like don't know how to validate myself.
Not a clue.
Like, do I sit there and I hold up a little mirror?
Yay!
I
You
am
great.
proud.
I am
You
proud.
did
Yay!
good.
Like
I don't get it.
I can be like, oh, I'm proud of myself.
Like, yay, I did it, and then and 2 seconds later, it's like,
What's next?
validate yourself, but like, we can't tell you how.
I'm not the girl to tell you how to validate
We're not
yourself.
the experts.
I'm
We just
not
sit here
the
and you
expert.
listen to us. So the last question that we asked, and I'm very excited about, is what is your craziest college confession? Because to be fair, I don't think I've done anything crazy.
Not in like my terms of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, for me,
Me
in my
crazy.
personal life, like,
What? What are you talking
okay?
about? But like,
Can't believe you did
and
that.
for, like,
Are you sure?
you, that ain't crazy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be like that's my
That's my everyday. Yeah. And to me, but means more to me.
Can I show you who sent this one?
Yes.
Let me read it first, and I'll show you who sent it. We're not gonna say.
We're not gonna out you, but I do want to see.
I fist fought my freshman year roommate, but she hit me first. So. Who said that to me? I want to know why. I want to know the details.
I need every detail about
because
that. Actually,
that's crazy to me.
That
not
is
in like a
crazy.
judgmental way, but like good for you. Like if
Yeah.
you get hit first, like hit back.
I'm hitting back.
Like that. My
You
mom
can bet yourself I'm
always taught me that.
swinging.
She's like, if someone hits you, you hit back harder. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
But like, that's crazy, and I want to know the details.
I do too, honestly.
Okay.
Some of these are crazy in here. I dream of vandalizing the school for profit.
For profit.
For profit. I need more details, actually.
Someone, I don't know if you were here yet, but a couple, like I think it was my first year here, so 2 years ago, we have a music hall called Mason Hall, and someone took the letters off of Mason Hall.
I've heard of
So
this.
it said asshole. And it stayed there for like 2 days and they didn't fix it. And it was just like asshole. And it was so funny.
That's so
and everyone
funny.
talked about it.
I feel like define for profit, like actually making money, or like profit in terms of like it's a gag. You know, like I
Yeah.
can see like how for profit could be
Yeah.
like that's funny. I dream of vandalizing the school. That's hilarious to me. Like yeah, I kind of get
I
it.
just want to know like the plan.
Yeah. What
I'll
would your
help.
plan be? Like,
I
how are
won't.
you doing
I'm-
this? No, I would
I'm not
I would absolutely not do that. But like, I'm just curious. Like, I dream of this. Like, what is this dream? I
Mhm.
want to hear more about it. Okay, you pick one.
One of my friends stripped in our campus chapel. Like, are we talking like a show, or just like they were changing,
Yeah.
or like what? Like, what is the
Once again, I
circumstance?
need more like detail.
We should have these people on. We should have them call in.
That would be so funny.
That would be really. The last one. The first week of college, I went to a strip club. Remember Lookers. So on like, kind of where like Fredonia is a small town, but there's like Main Street, and that's kind of like all the bars are in the one area.
Mhm.
And there's like a famous strip club that has been there for a long time. It's currently
Closed down, but
I
like
think
all
it
this
was open when I transferred here, but like for a month, and that was it.
Yeah.
I think that's just so funny.
It's
have
so
a strip club
funny.
in the middle of like a college, like sweet
Town,
little Fredonia.
yeah, like in the middle of a college town, and like all of the like decals and stuff that were like on the windows are still there. So like you
There's-
walk by and there's just like ladies just like hanging out, or it'll be like lips, or like there's
Yep.
like random like
There's
sayings
still,
on it.
I'm pretty sure the sign is still like looking for dancers.
Oh
Still
no, it literally there's a hiring sign in the
Yes,
window.
and you can never
and it's,
not make a comment about it.
You can't.
You
Every
have to
time you
joke
walk
about
by,
it.
you have to laugh. Like you have to like talk about it because it's so funny. So the thought of that place even like being open when I'm like here is like that, like it's unbearable. Like I don't even like I can't even like imagine that scenario. We do have one closing activity.
We have two.
We have to.
I came up with
Two?
one.
Oh, you came up with another one?
Yeah, I told you about it earlier.
Oh well, I forgot. So it's a surprise for
Okay.
me.
So obviously some things visually changed for us this
Clearly.
episode. But one aspect we've decided to add into the show is our cute little delusional jar. If you have watched New Girl, you know about the douchebag jar, which I'm a big fan of.
I love that show.
And we have we're not afraid to say that we're delusional.
Not in the slightest. I'll tell you. I'll tell you about it all day long. If you will let me yap about it long enough, I'll tell you.
So basically, the terms for this jar, instead of money, we have tickets. I don't know what we're gonna do at the end of the show.
Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be like an actual like sort of like
maybe like
sentence
the
or something.
one who's like more delusional, who has more tickets, has to like buy the other person like boba or something.
Yeah, like something
like that.
silly. Probably. So it's going to be me is the answer to that
Pretty
question.
much.
It's definitely going to be yours truly.
So Anna, since last episode, Anna has told me some things. So I am currently. I'm trying to think of like a good number of tickets you gotta put in there because it's been rough. Oh my god, we're so dumb. What has that been there that whole time?
The pair of scissors?
The pair of scissors and the SD card.
Probably, but like who cares? Sorry guys.
Sorry
Listen,
about my scissors.
we have to get up and re-record and press start again
This
on
is
all
real
these,
life.
on all these cameras every 25 minutes. And this show is an hour. So
Yeah.
you do the math, okay?
So Anna, based off of the things that you told me that sadly audience like we cannot share.
I would love to share it with you, but I simply cannot.
She can't. I'm thinking 4.
That's low. I was expecting way more, so I'll take it.
I'm thinking 4.
Okay, 4's a nice number.
Actually, you said I lied 5 because you said something to me earlier right before we started shooting that.
Oh God.
All right.
Do I remember what it was? I don't know if I do.
I
You can tell me
remember.
later.
5, ma'am.
5, ma'am?
Do you want me to get them for you?
No, I can get it.
So Anna's tickets are the pink ones and mine are the red ones, just so you know. We do currently have. Do you want to hand me the jar really quick? This is her. This is the jar. We put a cute little bow. Right now I currently have 1.
And that is for something she said the other day that was preposterous. Preposterous is the best way I can put what you said. That was crazy. It should be way more than 1, but that was a spur of the moment thing, and we had just started this.
That's
jar.
how the jar was created.
That's
how bad you know what? That's how the
because
jar
we
was
had to
created.
make a jar.
That's literally how the jar was created. Anna has about like 5 in here right now.
Yeah, those are also self-afflicted. I put
Yes.
those in because
there's things going on in that mind that I don't want to know about. So I'm requesting 4 from you, please. And I can't wait for my free boba at the end of this season.
I think it's crazy that you're using my delusion against me.
You were the one who created the jar.
I did create a
So-
jar because what you said was so preposterous that we needed a jar.
Please enter.
Rocker here. Okay. Hold on, I gotta rip them apart.
1.
2, 3, 4. Thank you. You're welcome.
Let's.
Put her back. So yeah, I'm sure that jar will be filled with pink tickets by the end of the season, unless you start doing some crazy stuff.
You never know.
You never know.
I came up with a little fun way that I wanted to end each episode, and I think it's really important. And like just how you were talking about growth. I think this will help us with some growth. So I think that we should both, at the end of each episode, talk about a moment of self-love that we've had since we filmed the last time. And I think that's really important to share, and also hopefully get you guys to also think about some moments that you loved yourself.
Yeah.
From the last time you watched our episode. Mm-hmm. You want to go first?
Well, I guess I don't know if it like counts as self-love, but I came to the realization that I did not fall once in our entire ice skating class. And that to me was like that's a big accomplishment to me.
That is.
I guess I love myself for not hurting myself like my mom thought I would. So
that's good. I'm very proud of you.
Thanks.
So like this past week has been a little rough for me, and I'm really proud of myself because I can do hard things.
I'm proud of you too.
And I am strong, and I can get through things that I didn't think I would be able to handle, and I did, and it was hard, but I did them.
You did.
You know?
Yeah.
That's my self-love.
I like your self-love of the week.
Thank
that was
you.
Beautiful.
So if you guys want to, leave below what
your
self-love is
of the week. I want to hear about it.
I would love that. But thank you so much again for joining us. Thank you for everyone who commented on our stories. I think that's something we might do regularly because it was so cool.
Really
to
fun.
Hear from everyone. But thank you again. Thank you for all the support on our first episode. Thank you for the support of this episode and all of ours going forward.
And the promo content that I worked very hard on.
Yeah, our Instagram stuff is really cool.
We do our best, y'all.
But yeah, we'll see you. Not the next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that. After the beep. We did it. Oh, table's moving.
The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.